Dave, I'll let you go first.
I'm Dave Mckolosky, the Lease Purchase Manager at PGT Trucking, and I'm with...
My name is Alec Heldreth. I'm the Director of Recruiting here at PGT. Today, we just wanted to get everyone on here and talk a little bit about, recruiting as well as our lease purchase program that we have currently going on.
Yeah, it's opportunity for drivers to become an owner-operator and officially own their truck. And they can do this through the PGT Lease Purchase Program. You can come in as a company driver, vetted by Alec and his department. And then one day, through the experience and the growth as a company driver, move into the Lease Purchase Program while at PGT, all under one roof, if you will.
Yeah, I think the Lease Purchase Program here is very, very good. Coming from the LTL space into the flatbed market, it's a totally different ballgame. But I'm very impressed in my first 10 months I've been here with David and his team. I mean, that program has taken off even since I've been here over the last 10 months to a year. Things have, growth is happening currently in the program. So wanted to kind of spend some time talking today about, the beginning, right? What are we looking for in this program? The type of drivers we're looking for. I can tell you what we look for in all of our drivers, right? We're looking for safe, reliable drivers that meet our expectations. Yes. And to kind of break that down a little bit as far as expectations go, right? Attitude, right? These drivers have to have the right attitude. They are a business at the end of the day. They're not a company driver. They are a business owner. And this is a pathway to them to become a business owner. So let's talk a little bit about that and what qualities you look for when you're talking to lease purchase drivers.
Yeah, for sure. So like you said, safety is the most important thing. We want drivers that are safe behind the wheel and that are proud to be on the road. You want to have, because essentially the truck is a brand floating down that road. It's rolling at whatever speed the speed limit is, and it's a image to other drivers that are out on the road. So I want guys that like to take pride in what they do. They're reliable, and they're just a professional in all rounds of the job, right? Because we all know the job's difficult.
Yeah.
We all know that there's good days and there's bad days. So it's imperative to have an experienced driver, meaning they know what they're getting into when they are lease purchasing a truck, because there's a lot of expenses and the things you need to make sure you're keeping up on as a business owner compared to a company driver. So I like experience. At least 1 year of flatbed experience is a must. And I like seeing longevity at a company, right? I don't want to have a driver have multiple jobs within a certain amount of years, because I like stability in drivers and drivers that like to take ownership and accountability for what they're doing too.
Yep. Yeah, let's kind of break off into this real quick, because you mentioned something, whether my team is recruiting company drivers, independent contractors, LPs, we talk about expectations, right? Setting ourselves up for success as well as a driver. So when we are recruiting these drivers, we're going over what we expect once they get here, go through training, and they're out there on their own, right? So expectations that we are setting across the board is, what are we doing to make sure that these drivers are set up for success? So one thing we are looking for is, this driver understands that if they're home weekly, they're going to be leaving out Sunday night for their Monday morning drop, getting 4 to 5 loads off that truck a week, making sure that they are doing everything possible to maximize their clock legally. But kind of talk a little bit about that and what you see making a successful driver in this program.
You hit it nail on the head right there. It's managing your clock and working 5 days a week. Those are the two important things of being a truck driver, especially owning your own business. Because you want to think, you're managing your clock. So you want to leave out of the house most of the time on Sunday, depending on how far your drop is, to be at your delivery Monday morning with a full set of clock, with a full set of hours. That way you're maximizing your Monday.
Yeah.
You get that load off Monday morning. You got 10 hours or 11 to get your next load picked up, right? Yeah. And then, once that takes off, it's working Tuesday, it's working Wednesday. It's not cutting your week off short on Friday and going home. empty. Like, because every time you don't work, you still have expenses as a lease purchase driver. Like, the expenses never stop.
Yeah.
Especially as, with your bills, personal life.
Yeah.
Right. That's because
I got married, so my bills just continue to go up.
They keep coming and they keep going up, right? Once you stop working, they don't stop coming. So it's the same thing as driving a truck.
Yep.
Yes, you're a lease purchase operator, but you still need to make enough revenue to make the truck payment and bring home a quality paycheck for you and your family.
Yeah.
So, provide.
Yeah. Typically, Dave, let's talk about two things based on this. Let's talk about home time. So obviously right now in the market, home time is very important for drivers.
Absolutely.
When we talk about success in this program, what can these drivers expect as far as home time goes? Is that weekly home time, bi-weekly home time? What does that look like? And obviously it depends on where they're running out of, but for a majority of our lease purchase drivers, are they getting home every single weekend?
Yeah. Majority of them, I would say they would be home every single weekend if they choose. But if not, we can run you for months at a time, go home. The most important thing is communication to the fleet manager on when you need to be home. That's the most important thing.
Yeah.
Because we have the freight throughout the entire country to get a driver home, essentially wherever he needs to be home. Obviously, there's going to be some times where we have to, pull a rabbit out of the hat, but we have enough freight. We have terminals all across America. And it's really communication is the most important thing to any relationship, especially from driver to dispatcher.
Yeah, that's good. I think that's the same thing that I would look for when we're recruiting these drivers as well. Another thing, let's talk about the fun stuff. So equipment, what do we have available in 2026? What are we doing as far as the equipment goes?
Well, right now we have Peterbilt International. Those are our two brand of trucks, Peterbilt and International. Right now, the lease purchase fleet has 2021s available. We also have 23s and 24s within the lease purchase fleet. Our trucks are Cummins powered trucks or 826 powered trucks. So they're automatic transmissions, 12 speed. They have super single wheelbase. They're fully spec'd, DOT'd, and cleaned before a driver seats in that truck. So, the most important thing is having a good first impression, wanting the driver to be proud of what they're about to sign and what they're about to run for the next year, 2 years, depending on the lease.
Yeah. So I was out at Blairsville, I think it was 3 weeks ago, watching a lease purchase seat, a driver's seat from orientation. And we talked about a couple of things. We're going to talk a little bit more about that in a little bit. But when I went out there and talked with him, he was onboarding his equipment onto the truck, one piece by piece, to make sure that he has everything that he needs. I got to talk to him a little bit about, the equipment we have here. And he's been around, he was with the company for 3 years prior to that. And he's talking about our equipment, our training, and the level of satisfactory and beyond that he has seen. But he was talking about the truck. He's like, man, I got my dream truck. And I was like, wow, you've been here for 30 days. Call me in 60 days from now and talk to you a little about it. But these guys are excited. But when they get out there, it truly does look like a brand new truck. Our training team, our maintenance team does a great job at making sure that these trucks are, when they're seated, they look brand new. So
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's important too, right? Setting them up for success. But
that's exactly right there. We want to set everyone up to success the minute they step in their foot in the door with PGT.
Yeah.
Right? Because it does no one good to have a driver having issues because it's taking up frustrations, it's taking up the driver's time, bad first impression. We do everything in our power to make sure that truck is spick and span and it can do the job it needs to do it, which is deliver loads safely on time.
Yeah, that's good. Want to talk a little bit about, training. So as a recruiting, leader of recruiting, when my recruiters are selling, what orientation is going to be like, what lease purchase orientation is going to be like, I think we do a pretty good job at explaining what that reality looks like. But then I always like meeting with the class on Thursdays with my recruiters. We sit them all in the classroom. We talk a little bit about, what were the expectations coming in the door and what were the expectations now? Was it met? And week over week, all I hear is, PGT, I thought I had good training. And now I'm at PGT, and this is world-class training.
Yeah.
From the second they walk in the door till they leave. Hats off to Chris and his group, but What's some of the feedback you've seen from some of these purchase drivers regarding training and securement?
I hear nothing but glowing remarks in regard to the knowledge that they gained during that week of training, because it's essentially 8 to 5 is the training hours.
Yep. 7:45.
Yeah, you're in class some of the days, but some of the days you're hands-on and learning how to use ratchet binders. Showing us you can throw chains, because there's items on our trailer that necessarily weren't used at other companies, like J-hooks, if you will.
Yeah.
I hear a lot of drivers rave about the fact that J-hooks were available to them their whole entire trucking career, and just found about it at PGT and how much easier it makes the job done.
Yeah.
Also, the just level of safety PGT takes to make sure the load doesn't move on the trailer, because that's load should never move. If you secure load to DOT, it should never move. PGT does DOT plus one for the family is the motto at PGT.
Yeah.
And that's just for safety, to get you home, to get your family home, your driver's home, my driver's home. It's separate.
Yeah, I think that's good. I'm going to go back to when I went out and met with that lease purchase driver. So he had 13 years of experience. And, typically those guys, just as well as I do, they got a chip on their shoulder. They think the best of the best. I'm the best driver in the world. This driver was very humble. He said, listen, I'm telling you, when I came in here, I thought I knew what I was doing. And after a week with those trainers, I learned things new that I wish I would have known 13 years ago. So again, that just speaks to volume of what our training facility can offer, as well if you're a company driver coming in with no experience, or a fully experienced driver that's been doing this for 15, 20 years. You're going to learn something new and probably a little bit better than what you've been doing. But I just want to, again, shout them out for what they do for us. It is a huge part of our operation, making sure we are setting our drivers up for success.
And one good thing, just to add on to that, they're physically going to be putting chains and binders on the commodities that they're hauling. There's mock commodities at the training securement bay.
Yeah.
And they get to actually put their hands on a slitted coil, show how to secure a slitted coil. They show how to secure or belly wrap a commodity. It's all hands-on with the loads you're going to be picking up at customers and delivering to customers. It's legitimate, correct work.
Have you ever done it?
I've done it, yes, and it's tough.
Yeah,
Difficult.
I did it a few weeks ago, and I'm going to be honest. I tried going out there. I thought I knew what I was doing. I would have had a coil fall off the truck if I would have stuck with my way of securing things.
I would be calling, asking for help every 10 minutes.
Yeah. Let's talk about that a little bit, actually. That brings up another good point. In these Thursday meetings, and my recruiters do a good job at explaining all the resources we have here at PGT. Once that driver gets seated in their truck, whether they went out with the trainer for three weeks or they sat after the first week, at some point I make the point in the class to make it well known, something is going to happen, right? You're going to get put on a customer load, your GPS takes you down a road that you shouldn't be down, and you get stuck, and you stop the process, you call in. I want to talk about the resources. You've been here for a long time, Dave. Talk about the resources that we have here at PGT for drivers. They get into something that they shouldn't have gotten into, or something happens and they need to get home, or something happens. I want to just touch a little bit about the family culture that we have here at PGT. Part of the reason I chose PGT as a corporate person, right, not a driver. Let's talk about the family aspect and the atmosphere and the culture we have at PGT, and why drivers need to know about it on the front end, so that if something happens, they have someone they could call, and they know that they have someone to call, whether it's you, me, Thomas.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. That they have someone to call no matter who it is at the company.
Yeah.
Anyone can answer a phone call, and if it's a driver on the other line, you're going to help solve the problem, because that's what we're all here paid to do. We're help support drivers. So they have obviously a chain of command on who they could call, fleet manager first, or safety manager, then to me, the lease purchase manager, driver recruiter, director of recruiter, upset with something. But that's the thing. We all answer the phone and solve the driver's problem. We are all family. So when one family member is struggling, it's the duty of the next family member to pick them up. And drivers just being able to know that they can reach out, because I think the problem is sometimes guys just don't reach out for their pride reasons.
Yeah.
Guys feel like, oh, I don't want to get yelled at for doing something wrong. Listen, for asking questions or asking for help, but you never, ever will get yelled at. I've never been yelled at.
Yeah.
It's not asking for help and then something goes wrong. That's when there's a problem.
Yeah. I think that's part of, as the recruiting director, sometimes I want to get back in the seat and recruit drivers just because it keeps you in the loop of what's going on. I think, when you're talking to a driver, you got to go in on the phone and you've gone through the process and it's time to get the driver set up. And you're just going through little things like this and you can hear that hesitation. So you start to call like, hey, what's going on there? Like, let's kind of break that down. I think that separates us from a lot of the industry right now is we're making sure we bring in the right drivers for the right reasons too, right? So with that being said, let's talk about the recruiter who specializes in lease purchase a little bit. I'll go over a little about who he is. His name's David Cherry. He's been with the company now for 5 years. I believe he is the best in the game as far as recruiting skills and relationship building. But you and David worked together for a long time.
Yeah.
And you guys have done a lot of good things in this specific program. So
For sure.
I got chills right now talking about it, but talk a little bit about that relationship and why you and Dave work so well together.
Well, for one, I think we both have the same goal in mind. We both know what each other wants, and David knows what I expect in a driver, and I know what David is vetting when it comes to bringing on a driver. He has definitely a nonstop pursuit of getting answers. So he follows up. He has a great follow up, and he just knows the industry. He's been around for trucking about as long as I've been alive. So I don't gotta show his age, but he's knowledgeable. He's trustworthy, and that's the biggest thing when it comes to bringing on a new driver. Follow up messages, and being able to trust them. Yeah, I think those are the two big items David has, and why he is so successful on bringing in new drivers to class. And the drivers David brings in are qualified individuals for lease purchase. That's for sure. He knows my areas of criteria I need him to hit for a driver, and he does a fantastic job. I wouldn't want anything different right now. Yeah,
he's definitely an A player for sure, and appreciate having him on our team and continue to bring in good drivers. Right, the growth with the lease purchase program is going to rely a lot on him and the efforts he has. So I'm glad to have him specializing in this as well. So a couple other things real quick. While we're doing this, let's break down and kind of go over where the market is right now, because our drivers right now are making more money than they've made in a very, very long time, whether it's company drivers, LPs, independent contractors. Let's talk about that, because at the end of the day, the drivers don't want to hear us talking. They want to hear about the money, right? They want to hear about home time. They want to hear about what they're making a week. That's all they care about in the truck they drive. Yep. So let's talk a little bit about that.
So yeah, the freight environment has been as good as it's been for the past 2 years, 3 years, I'd say.
Yeah.
The rates are strong. Customers are needing drivers to move their product. So finally, the tables have turned, right? Where there was more drivers than loads. Right now, there's more loads than drivers.
Yeah.
So the customers are paying a premium to haul the freight. They want a trustworthy carrier. PGT is a trustworthy carrier because these customers, they do safety checks on the carrier. They verify that their product is going to be hauled without a claim. So that's another benefit to working with a company like PGT. Our safety score is one of the best in the industry. The brand recognition is one of the best in the industry.
Yeah.
We have customer direct freight because we have built relationships with this company, been in business for 45 years. And it's just, once again, goes back to relationships and communication of a successful truck driver in business.
Yeah. I've only been here, like I said, for I think today's 11 months actually. No, 10 months. But, I walk out there in the war room, you have your sales team with Bill and John, and then you have a couple others, and then you have the operations team. What's incredible to see is that those two teams work together on a day-to-day basis, and our freight, for the most part, is all customer to customer of relationships that's been built for 45 years by Pat Gallagher all the way down to our newest salesperson. And those relationships do matter from a driver standpoint when we're talking about revenue. I want to make it very clear. Our drivers are making more money today than they have in a very, very long time. And it is now now is a good time to invest in the PGT. Bring yourself, if you want to get in the lease purchase program, you will make money right now if you follow our guidance on how to be successful.
Yes, if you have the drive, the professionalism, and the work ethic to do the job the way PGT wants it done and the DOT requires it to be done, you will make money in this job. You will make money in this position, because our job is to keep you on the road, supporting you in your needs. That is my sole job, to support drivers. I've not had as much revenue per unit this year than I've had in the past 5 years. You're right. It's been the highest revenue per unit in the lease purchase program for as long as I've been involved in this company, which is 6 years.
Yep.
So the market's great. Time to strike is now, because, what's the saying? Make hay while the sun's shining.
Yep.
And right now the sun is shining.
Yeah. I think we're talking about LPs here, but as a company driver, PGT will set you up for success if you want to be successful. And honestly, that speaks volume, just not even as a driver, but as a company in general, right? Any person that walks through those doors, PGT will give you the tools to be successful. But we're talking about our drivers here. If you follow those rules, you work with your recruiter, you work with your operational fleet manager, your safety manager, and do the things that are required, you will make the money you want to make, right? So, guys, listen, that's probably all you need to hear.
Yeah.
Realistically,
I mean, it's numbers don't lie, and right now the numbers are good.
Yeah. Yep. So, listen, Dave, I appreciate you taking the time today.
Yeah, man.
This was awesome. We should make this a weekly thing. I don't know if we can, but I appreciate everyone listening to this. This was incredible. And like I said, the last thing I want to touch on before we go, let's talk about referral bonuses. Now is the time.
Yeah.
Yes. This is to all of our company drivers, lease purchase drivers, independent contractors. Let's talk a little bit about the referral bonuses before we head out, because it is a industry leading referral bonus.
Yeah. So one thing about the referral bonus is it's available to any driver that refers a qualified driver to PGT. When I mean qualified driver, they have to go through the recruiting process, be vetted, have the experience level needed, have the safety levels that we require, and then that driver that referred the guy in orientation will get paid out. And what is the payout? It's
$5,000 after the first month. Yep. So
for one driver, $5,000. So for your drivers, another $5,000. So that's $10,000.
Yeah. Yeah. As long as they continue to stay on and operate, there's a lot of money to be made with good quality drivers. So after we're done here, we'll throw up the recruiting number. If you've got a driver or you're interested in coming on a PGT, we'll throw up the number here as well as the apply link on there. Get an application in, talk with one of our recruiters, and let's get you in one of these white trucks down the road. So sounds good. Thank you.